Hello again everyone, Lucas Berry here for White Oak Rail, and I am so excited to finally be able to share this video with you. It is time for us to take a look at one of the greatest traditions in North American railroading, and certainly the best tradition here in West Virginia. The New River Train, or as it is called now, the Autumn Colors Express. Same train, basically just different management, different name. But anyway, I'm so excited to show it to you. This has been a video that's been a long time in the making. I've been looking forward to doing this video for a long time. I've wanted to do this video since this channel started, but unfortunately haven't had the train running until now. But you know what? It's here now. We're good. So let's get to it. I do want to apologize for the delay in this video. First I got busy, and then I got sick, and then I got injured. So it's been just a big mess of I haven't been able to finish the video until now. But we got it done. That's what matters. Let's start the show. Now, the first place I went was Prince. I was planning on going to Thurman the first day, but I had to be in Beckley that night, so I figured, you know what, let's just go to Prince and make the drive to Beckley that much shorter. It wasn't that long until the train came. Hey, wait a minute. What's the coal train doing in front of the excursion? I found out later what happened. There had been a broken rail somewhere in the gorge, and this coal train was ahead of the excursion train on the number 2 track, stopped at Sewell until another train cleared the single main to the east of Sewell. Well, that train got on the number 1 track, which finally is back in service, and this train can continue on, but it backed up the subdivision, and we had to get this train on the road before we can get to the excursion here, so we're going to wait a little bit. Now, it's actually rather appropriate that this train is heading east, because it's heading toward the town of Quinnamont, West Virginia. And Quinnamont is where the first carload of coal was shipped over the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad by Colonel Joseph Berry in 1873, beginning a tradition of coal on the C&O that's been going ever since. There's actually a monument to Joseph Berry. It's a stone obelisk, just off the road next to Quinnamont. And before you ask, no relation, different spelling. Okay, now I think we're good. This should be the excursion train. While we wait for the westbound run, let's talk a little bit about the station here at Prince. This station was opened in 1946 to accommodate a train that never ran. That train was to be called the Chessie. It was to be a daylight streamliner between Washington, D.C. and Cincinnati, Ohio, and was the brainchild of then C&O President Robert R. Young, who was a staunch believer in railroad passenger service. In fact, he once proclaimed that a pig can cross the country without changing trains. Why shouldn't you? Much like the train that just passed, the Chessie was supposed to have domes in the consist. And not only that, but it was supposed to show new movies as well. How about that? Being able to watch a newly released movie while on a train. That would be pretty cool if you ask me. Unfortunately, the C&O, which tried to get ahead of this by placing its order in 1944 in anticipation of a post-war boom in traffic, didn't see the order conclude until 1948, by which time there was no hope. The C&O ran one test train of the Chessie, but it never turned a wheel in revenue service. The original plan was for the Chessie to be powered by an M1 class steam turbine locomotive, but these did not turn out to be satisfactory, so the railroad turned to Plan B to convert 462 Pacific type locomotives into 464 Hudson type locomotives to pull the train. One of these still survives today. C&O 490s on display at the Baltimore Ohio River Museum in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, back to Prince. This station replaced one that was built in 1917, and it was just off the west end of the platform. It was small, but it got the job done. When the new station was dedicated on June 26, 1946, they crammed 3,000 people here for the dedication. Imagine that, 3,000 people in Little Prince, West Virginia. Now, arguably the best known feature of Prince, and certainly the cutest, is this image of Chessie on the station floor, either welcoming passengers off their train or welcoming them as they begin their railroad journey. And if by chance you were ever in need of a reminder of just what the C&O's main driver was, the mural on the back wall will help out quite nicely. That mural depicts action on the Piney Creek subdivision, which just so happens to join the main line right here in Prince. A few other rail fans and I were waiting for the excursion train to come back, and while we were waiting, we heard the dispatcher clearing moves off Piney Creek. We weren't really sure what they were, but we were curious to find out. Aha! Coal train. I'm not surprised this is a coal branch, but we did see some track work being done on the way down here, so we weren't sure if that was them leaving this branch. Now, we knew the excursion was on the way. We were pretty sure that high green on number 1 track was for them. But what we didn't realize is that we would be seeing a meet right here in Prince. And I happened to be filming the wrong angle. And watch how fast I had to turn this camera when I realized what was coming. That's the New York Central Hickory Creek bringing up the markers. The Hickory Creek was on the last eastbound run of the 20th Century Limited on December 3rd, 1967. After the excursion passed, our coal train got moving again.
It amazes me that some of those older cars are still rolling.
Oh, I know.
Some of those were built in 75 years ago. Well, they went through a race on Reedsville where they chopped off everything except the frame and the truck.
Right.
Built new bodies. Some of those were
After the coal train passed, we found out what exactly that second move was. It was the helper engines coming off Piney and onto the main line. That adds up. Now, I had originally planned to go to Thurman on Friday since I was in Prince on Thursday, but I found out the road into town was being paved and it was like an hour wait. I didn't have an hour to wait. So I came down to South Fayette, and I'm really glad I did. I got a chance to meet some rail fans and a couple who was just coming through town and happened to find out through me, that there was a really cool train coming through, and they stayed and got a nice treat on their trip through New River. Today's train is operating as P94021. I came back down here for the westbound run, and before we get to the train, I'd just like to point out something. If you see someone pointing their camera at a railroad track, it probably means the train's coming and you shouldn't be on the track. You shouldn't be there anyway, but you most certainly should not be there when there's a train coming. I had 2 encounters like this in the span of 5 minutes. I don't think my heart can take it anymore. And of course, the irony here is the fact that the Operation Lifesaver engine is leading this train going back to Huntington. For those of you who don't know, Operation Lifesaver is a non-profit organization that is dedicated to reducing, if not eliminating, rail-related fatalities, specifically rail grade crossings, but they preach, don't trespass, be safe around railroad tracks. On Saturday morning, I came down to Hawks Nest, and I got a pleasant surprise while I was waiting for the excursion train. There was a train crossing the river here on the number 1 track, which is back in service. So that was a nice surprise. Unfortunately, it's just not a very good shot, so I'm not going to show it to you. I'm zoomed all the way in, and the light is not in my favor. It just looks like a big ball of train is what it looks like. It's not clear. But I'll tell you what is clear. The defect detector was still coming in loud and clear at Cotton Hill, and the 2 trains actually met at Cotton Hill.
CFX detector, milepost 411.1, track main 1, no defect. Repeat, no defect. Total axle 190. Detector out.
Can't see anything because there's no folder.
CFX detector, milepost 411.1, track main 2, no defect. Repeat, no defect. Total axle 86. Detector out.
P940, 22, Amtrak 62, east on 2, clear Cotton Hill, no defect.
Standard 850, yep.
I didn't get a chance to get back out there on Saturday evening, but I was back out on Sunday, and I was really glad I was because A, it was a fantastic day outside, and B, this train would be a little bit different than what had rolled through the previous 3 days. What had happened was, Amtrak 203, the Operation Lifesaver engine, which had been leading the train back to Huntington, developed some problems and couldn't lead. Well, we've got 2 more. Let's see if one of them can do it. Well, 168, the engine in the middle, couldn't do it. It had been developing some problems on the way down from Chicago. That wasn't going to work, so the only engine that could lead was Amtrak 62. So, with no other option, they ran the power out to Quinnamont, turned it on the Y, and then ran it back to Hinton, putting 62 back in front, leading back to Huntington. So, with 62 already pointing back west, we've got the locomotive to lead west the next day, but we still need something to lead east. 203 can't do it, 168 can't do it, so what on earth are we to do? Well, CSX was able to help out with that. They lent them GP 40-2 number 6145 to pull the train east on Sunday morning. 6145 was built in 1975 for the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, and I'm willing to bet that if you told anyone on the assembly line when she was built that in 2022 she'd A, still be around, and B, pulling a passenger train full of historic coaches, I don't think anyone would have believed you.
4023, CSX 6145, east on the main, clear to Thurman.
So now here we are, time for the last run of the Autumn Colors Express in 2022. I'm still set up in Thurman, and I'm ready for that westbound show. thanks for watching. I really enjoyed putting this together. This is the most special train in the world to me. So getting a chance to film it for 4 straight days, being out there trackside for 4 straight days, that was just amazing. I truly enjoyed it. I would like to also apologize for this video taking so long. Just stuff happens. That's the simplest way to put it. Please hit that like button down below if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below if you are so inclined. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. And while you're there, hit that bell to be notified when a new video gets posted. Until next time, somewhere out there in the railroad, I'm Lucas Berry for White Oak Rail.